The following is a world-class Bullshitters exclusive.
When I said I was done making Star Wars toy videos, I meant it. And then something happened today that changed my mind and changed the way I look at Star Wars toys. It's a historic moment, and it's something I've never seen across any brand of entertainment. Let's go somewhere familiar. Here I am at my local Walmart, and as you can see, there's some Black Series figures, and their price is $5. And in front of you we have Captain Cassian Andor, and above that, Jyn Erso. Figures that no one wanted. And as my camera spazzes out and goes blurry for a moment, notice the other Star Wars toys to the left of the screen. Those oddly colored boxes, because we're going to get to those in just a moment. But let's look at this box. This is a $100 piece of shit. This is supposed to be the Millennium Falcon, but it's too goddamn tiny to be the Millennium Falcon. So what do you get in this small box that costs so much money? Well, not a lot. You get a Han Solo figure, a briefcase, a poorly designed Millennium Falcon, and Force Link 2.0. Because that's worth all the damn money. So what's Force Link 2.0? Let's find out together. Well, it brings the galaxy to life. And this is the Force Link 2.0 starter kit. You get a Power Ranger Zeo Ionizer for only $30. And this kid looks so happy to make his little action figures talk, because that's all these wristbands do. They say lines from the movie. It's not like they had this technology in 1999 when it was called Comtech chips. Now, I've never heard the lines of dialogue on here, so I can't comment. But there's the rest of the figures. Good for them. Oh, and here's a special. Han Solo. Look at that toy. Look at that quality. Now, what you see here is a terrible, terrible thing. Rose Tico with Force Link 2.0. And she's in her shitty Navy uniform. She even looks stupid. You know what? Fuck this toy. Let's go back to the Millennium Falcon. So let's look at some of the play features. So, you get removable coaxium. That's a plot point, I bet, to the movie. You also get figure accessory storage. Actually, figure/accessory storage. Blast off panels, just what every kid wants. You get figures that fit in the cockpit. Holy shit, that's never been done before. You also get a rumble pack vibration and sounds, just like the 1996 Nintendo 64 controller. And some lights. That's awesome. Now this caught my eye for how incredibly shitty it is. $9.99 for a lightsaber that looks like it belongs at the dollar store. Wow, what a deal. Now something else caught my eye for all the wrong reasons too. Down here on this bottom shelf is a giant Han Solo blaster. I mean, I'm a full-grown adult and this thing's too big for me to even fire with one hand. Look at this thing. This is meant for like giants. And we can thank your good friends over at Nerf, a division of Hasbro. Ooh, Nerf Glow Strike. Anyway, look at how big this gun is supposed to be compared to Han Solo, Kmart Han Solo, let's call him that from now on. But you know what, let's put it down because fuck it. Now over here we have something interesting. More Rose Tic Tac Tico. Before she was in a potato sack, now she's in a bag of flour. What an attractive woman. And then there's Rey with some dust on her boots, because collectors will buy anything. Thankfully there's only one of those though, so let's move on to something else. Nope, there's 5 more. Speaking of something else, this just caught my eye. This Black Widow figure, it looks terrible. It doesn't even look like her. She looks like a goddamn whore! Thank you, Frank. Now, all joking aside, you're probably thinking to yourself, Jeff, the title of this video is that they're practically free. Well, these toys were purchased for about $5, and they have a very good home. The thing is, there has never been a series of Star Wars figures to come out on a Friday, and by Tuesday, they're on clearance. Seriously, these things retail for $19.99, but they're available at all Walmarts, not just my local store. All Walmarts, they're $5. Now, if you're like me and you pay attention to the Facebook pages dedicated to Star Wars toy collecting, you'll notice that people have been talking about this for quite some time. Me, being the guy that I am, assumed that they would stop these prices once the new figures came out. But I was wrong. Yeah, you heard it here first. But I'm happy to be wrong. Because for $5, you really can't go wrong. And if I'm going to be 100% honest, these toys aren't exactly garbage. I mean, they feature the same face printing technology that the SH Figure Arts toys do, and I constantly sing their praises. As I look at Han Solo right now, the quality is a fairly good figure. I haven't opened it up out of the box yet, but you get his blaster, which is painted nicely. It has some weathering. It has great sculpting on all that stuff, and the face finally looks like a human being, so no more lifeless eyes in your Han Solo toys. Lando looks fantastic. You've heard me talk about Donald Glover at great length, how much I don't like him, but you know what? This toy looks awesome. Side note, mine has a weird scar on his neck, so maybe that's a plot point. The Range Trooper has real fur, and the Death Star Trooper has a 3D printed face as well. So those are really cool things, and for $5, who the hell's going to pass this up? It's not like I paid $20 a piece and I'm trying to justify it. It's like getting a coffee at Starbucks, and instead you get a Star Wars figure. Now, does that mean this movie's going to be good? No. This movie's probably going to suck. We've talked about it at great lengths on this channel, and we'll talk about it in about a month when it comes out. The reason this video is made is because there has never been a time in Star Wars history where something comes out so fast and goes to sale so fast. In my previous video, I talked about the $1 Star Wars figures. Those figures came out in September, and that video was filmed in January. That was previously the record holder. But 4 days beats it. Can you think of any product that comes out and 4 days later is completely on sale, 75% off? Now you could tell me some Blu-rays come out on sale, or some video games or stuff like that, but then they go back up in price. And they're not that big of a percentage off. Like a Blu-ray may be on sale for $19.99 its first week, and then jump back up to $24.99. But it's not going to be like $5 to get a copy of The Last Jedi on the first day and then $25 the next week. These toys are in a weird predicament. I was out and I picked up a Deadpool figure for the exact same price as these 4 Star Wars figures. And if I'm being honest, the Star Wars figures actually look better. Now, I'm not changing my tune about Star Wars toys. Hasbro put themselves in this position, and Disney is also to blame. Hasbro has done a terrible job at managing the distribution of these toys. They've done a terrible job at promoting these toys, and they've done the worst job at creating compelling and interesting toys. But we also have to blame Disney for lacking in the ability to create compelling and interesting characters. I know everyone wants to tout Rey as this strong female lead, and that's great, but she's really fucking boring. She has no flaws. She has nothing about her that makes her interesting. The fact that she's a woman should be enough for these people, is what Disney thinks. And in reality, that's not the case. We want compelling, interesting characters that we can see ourselves in, male or female. But it seems like a lot of these new Disney Star Wars characters are created with an agenda to promote diversity and acceptance. And no one on this channel has ever said diversity is bad. Not at all. But diversity for diversity's sake is, because it's hollow. It has no purpose. And it's disingenuous. And that should make you even madder than the fact that they may have a white guy in the lead. Because true diversity and true progression is about having the best of intentions as well as the best of execution. Lando Calrissian in the original Star Wars trilogy is an interesting character no matter the color of his skin. He betrays his friends, he's conflicted for why he does it, he comes back to redeem himself, and he just so happens to be a black guy. See, the best characters, male, female, or any color, or any orientation, are great characters first, and then other things second. Like Ripley. Ripley was written to be a man or a woman, and it just so happens to be a woman, and Ripley is a cool and interesting, compelling character. And the reason I bring this little detour up is because when you build a franchise on these things and you lack in the story department, you don't capture the imagination of children or adults. You don't bring them back to their youth, to this nice sacred place. All you do is you bastardize and pervert their childhoods, which I get the phrase, "you ruined my childhood," is stupid. I think it's pretty dumb myself. But to turn Star Wars from this fantasy franchise that was already all-inclusive and that brought people from every walk of life in, to this oddly politicized franchise that turns off people and only the bloggers online praise it for what it is. That's not what Star Wars is. And all of those things are why the merchandise is in the situation that it is in. It's not because the world is all of a sudden poor. It's because they make piss-poor movies and they produce products based on those piss-poor characters and nobody buys them because they suck. Say what you want about the prequels, they knew how to market characters. Darth Maul looked cool and did cool shit, and that's why, to this day, you can still get Darth Maul action figures. You think in 10 years anyone's gonna want a Rose Tico toy? Nobody wanted Rose Tico 10 minutes after the fucking figure came out. She's a dumb character. She's so depressed looking and lame and pathetic. And the weird part is the actress that plays her isn't any of those things. It just so happens that they've taken somebody that's okay and made her a joke. You want to cry when you look at Rose Tico. She's not a hero. Nobody looks up to her. Like that comic book writer Mark Waid said, oh, millions of Asian girls have a hero to look up to. Why would you want any child to look up to Rose Tico? She's a whiner. Ooh, I fight for what I believe in. I believe in love. Shut the fuck up, Rose. You know what I believe in? I believe in the fact that you're going to sit on toy shelves forever. And in toy hell or toy purgatory, wherever you're going to end up, it's going to be you and Cassian Andor and Constable Zuvio and maybe some Jyn Ersos floating around in the ether next to copies of the E.T. Atari cartridge because no one loves you and no one wants you. So that's it for my toy video. Like I said, I didn't intend on making this video, but sometimes stuff happens and you just gotta do it. And these toys for $5 that are brand fucking new for $5 is an embarrassment as well as a steal. Can you blame me for picking them up? And if you do, oh well, you do the same thing. All joking aside though, thank you to everyone who watches his videos. I really, really appreciate it. You guys have been able to make World Class Bullshitters a thing now that takes up so many nights of my life, but you know what? I'm happy to be up at 2:30 in the morning doing this. Why? Because I genuinely love World Class Bullshitters and I love interacting with everybody out there. I can't wait to read the comments on this video because you're all going to laugh at the fact that Star Wars can't even put out something new without it getting clearance. And you know what? They deserve to be laughed at. I could tell you how they had clearance an AT-ST Walker on Walmart.com from $60 to $17, and they got tons of them, so if you were looking for something like that, go ahead. They got a Princess Leia on clearance from $20 down to $7. There's all kinds of Star Wars stuff that you can get on the cheap nowadays, and it's all because of Hasbro and Disney. It's all because of bad marketing and bad movies. And you know what? I'm okay with that. Really, I'm okay with that. They deserve to fail. If you're a fan of this channel, make sure you give it a thumbs up, share this video, tell everyone about us, and make sure you subscribe to the channel for all the awesome content you can handle. If you're a super fan, join the Patreon page. $1 a month goes a long way, but $5, which is only 17 cents a day, goes even further. It helps us go out and do all kinds of great stuff. No, it doesn't help us buy these figures, but it helps us get web space for the podcast. That's how we're able to host it, and that's how we're able to build our website and get the merchandise rolling. And did you know what? World Class Bullshitters might be appearing at one of your local conventions within the calendar year. We're waiting to hear on that, but you know what? Once we do, we will let you know. So if you'd like to help us grow like that, consider the Patreon page, and if you can't afford it, not a problem. Just watch all our videos and tell everyone about us, because as long as everyone knows World Class Bullshitters is around, it's good enough for us. So I'll be back later in the week with more World Class Bullshitters content, and get ready because we're getting ready to switch over to Avengers mode, and I am excited for Infinity War, and I know most of you are too. Thank you for watching, and have a good one.